Aquaculture has acquired the status of an industry in India since the late 80s, and several entrepreneurs have taken up aquaculture farming of carps, catfishes and prawns. Catfishes have a unique taste and are therefore considered a delicacy among fish consumers. However, their culture systems are yet to be established. Recently, the Government of India has identified catfish farming as a national priority and has emphasized the need for diversification of culture practices. Among the catfishes, the air-breathing species, Clarius batrachus, popularly known as magur, is in great demand amongst Indian consumers as well as those in neighboring countries of the Indian subcontinent. It has a tremendous export potential due to its high sale price, delicious taste and therapeutic value. They normally inhabit swampy, marshy and derelict waters. These water bodies are usually shallow, with the heavy silt of decaying vegetation and organic load with poor nutrient release. In spite of its aquaculture potential, fish farmers are unable to take up culture of this species due to non-availability of stocking material or seed, and are still dependent upon capture sources. The Central Institute of Freshwater Aquaculture, Bhubaneswar, the premier institution for developing freshwater aquaculture, has developed techniques of induced breeding, larval rearing, seed production and culture practices of catfish.
Magur is going to take a lead in the diversification of freshwater aquaculture in our country, and in this context, SIFA has already developed the technology for breeding, larval rearing and the culture of magur.
Usually this species attains maturity at the age of 1 year and breeds during June to August. During the breeding season, male and female magur are collected from the broodstock pond and kept separately in plastic tubs containing water. Males and females are distinguished by their secondary sexual characters. In females, the abdomen is gravid, vent is reddish colored, genital papilla is round and button-shaped. In the male, genital papilla is elongated and pointed. Normally, a 100-gram female is injected with 4 milligrams of carp pituitary extract or 0.1 milliliter overprim or overtide or 400 IU HCG. During the evening hours, females are injected with hormones on their back. Males do not require hormone injections. The males and the injected females are kept separately in the covered containers with 10 to 15 centimeters of water. Unlike carps, the male magur are operated upon for testes removal to get sperm suspension. The testes are incised and kept in 0.9% saline solution. The cut pieces are macerated with the help of a pestle and mortar to get the sperm suspension. The females are stripped after a gap of 14 to 17 hours from the time of injection. The eggs are collected into small enamel or plastic trays. Shining and brown-colored bead-like eggs are considered as good eggs, while white-colored eggs are of bad quality. A 150-gram female lays around 7,000 to 9,000 eggs. The sperm suspension is then added to the stripped eggs and thoroughly mixed with the help of a feather. A little fresh water is then added to the tray to activate the sperms. The fertilized eggs are then washed thoroughly and transferred to a flow-through hatchery. The eggs are adhesive in nature and remain stuck to the incubation tubs. The flow-through hatchery has been developed at this institute, consisting of a cemented platform on which a row of small plastic tubs of 12 centimeter diameter and 6 centimeter height are placed, and all the tubs are provided with flow-through water system. The water supply is provided from an overhead tank through a common pipe to all the tubs with individual control taps. Each tub is provided with an outlet at a height of about 4 centimeters. The fertilized eggs are uniformly distributed in the incubation tubs. For large-scale hatching, an improvised hatchery system has also been developed at this institute. The system consists of a circular tank of 2-meter diameter with inlets at a height of 15 centimeters at an angle of 45 degrees. A feeble inflow of water is maintained. The eggs are uniformly spread for hatching. The system could accommodate 1 lakh fertilized eggs in a single operation with a 60 to 80% hatching rate. After hatching, the larvae are collected by siphoning from the bottom of the hatching tank. Ideal temperature for hatching is between 27 to 30 degrees centigrade. Hatching takes place within 24 to 26 hours. The tubs from the flow-through hatchery are washed properly to free the larvae from the eggshell. The magur larvae with yolk sac measures about 4 to 5 millimeters in length. The hatchlings are spread uniformly in the indoor rearing tank. After a few hours, the larvae develop a feeble creeping movement. The healthy hatchlings migrate to the periphery of the tank within 10 to 12 hours, and the deformed larvae congregate at the center and are removed. The larvae are reared for 12 to 14 days in round or rectangular cemented or fiberglass tanks during indoor rearing. Being nocturnal in nature, they also congregate at the edge of the rearing tanks to avoid light. At night, they spread all over the tanks. Larvae, being small and delicate, require good aquatic environment for survival. Therefore, the quality and level of water in indoor rearing system plays a major role for optimizing the survival rate. Water quality management is an important aspect during larval rearing. Being an air breather, the aerial respiration commences after 10 to 11 days. Hence, air must be provided to the larval rearing tanks through aerators or by an indigenous device. The larvae are reared for 12 to 14 days in the indoor tanks at a density of 2,000 to 3,000 numbers per square meter for better growth and survival. The heavy yolk sac in hatchlings serve as stored food and get absorbed in about 3 days. Therefore, feeding is required from the 3rd day onwards. Mixed zooplankton or Artemia naupli can be provided as larval feed. Mixed zooplankton is a convenient feed item for magur larvae which is collected from ponds by Hapa. It is sieved properly before supplying it to the larvae. The dead plankton, fecal matter and unconsumed feed should be cleaned properly from the rearing tanks. About 70 to 80% of the water may be replenished daily to maintain 10 to 15 centimeter water depth. Poor water quality and management and non-availability of feed lead to mortality of larvae during indoor rearing. The larvae grow to 10 to 20 millimeter or 30 to 40 milligram size during 12 to 14 days of indoor rearing. They are now called fry, and these fry are then transferred to a well-prepared nursery or outdoor fingerling raising tanks. Small rectangular cemented cisterns can be used to rear fry to the fingerling stage. These cisterns are provided with 4 to 5 centimeter soil base and a water level of 25 to 30 centimeters. Raw cow dung, single superphosphate and groundnut oil cake are mixed properly and applied in the rearing tanks for manuring. After 2 to 3 days of manuring, the tanks are ready for stocking the fry. It is also provided with floating weed like water hyacinth for shade and shelter for the fry. The fry are stocked at the rate of 250 to 300 numbers per square meter and fed regularly with formulated pelleted feed in the feeding basket twice daily. The pellets are made up of fish meal, rice bran, groundnut oil cake, soya bean in powdered form mixed with vitamin mineral mixture and oil. The water replenishment in the tanks is done regularly to provide a congenial environment. The fingerling tanks are checked at a regular interval to observe their growth pattern. There is possibility of algal growth that is removed by surface netting with the help of a hopper. The tanks are covered with a net to avoid birds that prey on the fingerlings. They attain a size of about 10 grams in the 3-month rearing period and are then collected by dewatering the fingerling tanks. This fish size is suitable for stocking in grow-out ponds. Magur culture is undertaken in earthen tanks, stone pitch tanks, or cemented tanks. They are great travelers and often escape during heavy rains. Hence the ponds are fenced with nets. Paddy fields with good water levels too are good for magur culture. The culture ponds should be checked properly to ensure that there are no crevices before release of seed. The ponds can be stocked with the desired size of seed at a rate of 50,000 numbers per hectare to get good marketable size of magur. The fish are fed at the rate of 3 to 5% of their body weight with pelleted feed in feeding baskets placed in different areas of the pond. There is a danger of degradation in water quality of the culture ponds with high density stocking due to accumulation of unconsumed feed and fecal matter. Hence, it is essential to change the water as and when required. Since they are air breathers, they normally come up to the water surface for atmospheric oxygen. This habit attracts predatory birds. Therefore, it is essential to cover the ponds with a net to protect the fishes. The fish attain a marketable size of 100 to 120 grams over a period of 7 to 8 months. Harvesting of magur is done by dewatering the pond completely and picking them manually from the culture ponds. By following this protocol, a production of 3 to 4 tons can be expected from a hectare of water area. Regular training on magur breeding and culture is being imparted to the fish farmers, entrepreneurs, researchers and students regularly at this institute. They get on-hand experience of breeding, larval rearing and culture of the species.
मैं सिफा में ट्रेनिंग लेने के लिए लास्ट ईयर आया था। यहाँ का ट्रेनिंग बहुत अच्छा था। यहाँ से बहुत कुछ सीख के मैं उधर गया। उधर अभी भी कुछ कर रहा हूँ। इस साल यहाँ आया था, थोड़ा सीड लेके उधर जाऊँगा, फिर करूँगा। यहाँ तो मागुर पालन में फ़ायदा बहुत है। हम वहाँ जाके करते हैं, वहाँ 1 किलो के हिसाब से 120 रुपया मिलता है। इसलिए साल भर हम लोग 50 से 60 हज़ार रुपया हमेशा कमा लेते हैं। ये किसान भाइयों के लिए फ़ायदेमंद है। हम चाहें कि हर किसान ये मागुर पालन को अपनाएं।
Apart from this, magur seed in oxygen packing is also sold to the progressive fish farmers. There is great concern in view of the clandestine entry of the African catfish, Clarias garipinus, popularly known as Thai magur. Being highly predatory and cannibalistic in nature, the entry of this fish into Indian waters would be a nuisance, making our indigenous fish extinct. The farmers are unaware of the adverse implications on ecology. Hence, propagation of this species should be discouraged.
Now, if a medium farmer wants to do farming, he has to spend about 1 lakh rupee in a 1 hectare water area, and he can produce about 3 tons of fish, and he can get back the return of 1.98 lakhs of rupees. So he can get a profit of 98,000 rupees, and provided that he can sell the fish for 70 rupees a kilo.
Fish farmers who adopt the new aquaculture techniques to propagate catfish, or magur breeding see a silver lining ahead. Their future prosperity could well lie in these prolific magur fish farms.